All right, there are some big claims by Eric Davis on, I don't know, last week when they had the briefing with the members of Congress. And one of the, even though, and we didn't really talk about it on this show yet, and we should have, the thing that I didn't think helped at all was, and I don't know the whole deal behind it. I don't know where, and maybe you guys can lay this out more so, but Lou Elizondo showed a picture of a UFO apparently that he said this was taken by a pilot, and then it was debunked really fast, and it was like a crop or something. I don't know the whole story behind it, but it didn't help the cause. If he didn't, I don't know why. If that is indeed the case, and you guys can tell me, because I might not be as read up on it as everybody else. And if you're coming to this channel going, well, aren't you the UFO expert? Nope. Never said I. Wrong channel. If you're coming here for the UFO expert, wrong channel. I'm just the guy that's reading some news, asking like you are, what the hell is going on? That's it. That's what this channel is. That's why it's called Down to Earth. There are tons of people who are deep diving into it, so they might have all these information, all these answers. That's why I'm asking you. If you watched those channels and you got the information, tell me.
I have two kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, and they're both learning about money. And for me, I'm always trying to teach them to be responsible with money. Because where do you think kids learn the most about money? Is it their parents, their teachers, or Taylor Swift? No, it's not Taylor Swift. 81% of their kids say parents. 81%. I wish I learned that kind of stuff when I was younger. My dad taught me. I didn't listen as much. I didn't have this kind of idea. And that's what Acorns does. This episode is sponsored by Acorns Early. April is Financial Literacy Month, the perfect time to start teaching your kids the value of money. And Acorns Early make it easy with their smart money app and debit card for kids. Acorns Early Chores Tracker teaches the kids how hard work does pay off. It sets up tasks in the app, it sets a payment amount, and you tick off the chore when it's done. Easy. Saving goals help kids turn saving into a habit. They can even choose their own target dates and turn on their optional autosave feature to help them get there. It's great because kids need a sense of independence, and they get it when they're spending what they earn with their very own debit card, and they get to choose from 35 plus customizable end designs. Kids can build up their money knowledge and their confidence with bite-sized financial lessons. And the best part is parents can keep track of where and when the kids are spending. You get real-time spend notifications, set your kids' spending limits, and instantly block lost or stolen cards. I love this. It works. It has been a game changer for my 13-year-old. She knows, she understands, she's starting to balance when to spend money, how to save money. It has worked. So if you're ready to help your kids grow money skills that'll help last a lifetime, head on over to acornsearly.com/DTE or download the Acorns Early app to get started. Sign up now and your first month is on us. Acorns Early Card is issued by Community Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International. TNCs apply. Monthly subscription fees starting from $5 per month unless canceled.
So, for example, Lou, it seemed like he put this picture up and said, hey, this is UFO. And everybody said, no, it's not actually. It's crop circle or something else. And why'd you do that? You're hurting the cause more than you're helping it. Was it then proven that maybe, no, wait a minute, could still be legit? From the last I heard, it was people were saying, what are you doing here, guy? But the person they're not saying that to is Eric Davis. Eric Davis is the one who came out and said a lot of different things. And not only did he say, about species and reverse engineering and things of that nature. James Fox tweeted out that, well, this is what he wrote. This is what James wrote. James said, please listen to this short clip. Dr. Davis is willing to enter a SCIF with Burlison to provide the details needed to verify these claims. To which he then follows up, let's go, gentlemen, #UAP transparency. And he also says, I remind all of you naysayers, this open statement before sitting members of Congress just 4 years would seem impossible. We are running 100-yard dash. This is a marathon. Let's keep going. So here is the said clip by Eric Davis.
My interface with the leadership of the industry, which were a number of individuals, is the following. The craft that have been recovered are not of this earth. They're not made by human hands. They are not from this planet. They are not human. They are an alien technology, whatever the word alien means. Are they extraterrestrial? We don't know. We don't know. What motives do they have? Well, we need anthropologists and social psychologists and philosophers to figure that out because they haven't communicated that to us. Yeah. So physicists like me and Avi, we can't answer questions like motive. We just need to take data. We call it measurements and signals intelligence in the intelligence industry.
I mean, this is massive, right? And you'd have, again, which James Fox says, it would have been unthinkable that you would even imagine that a physicist would be talking to members of Congress about non-human aliens, a non-human craft crashing here that we've been working on and the different species that are here. And then he said, well, what are the motives? Well, he says, I don't know. That's not my job. My job is the science of everything else. Because both him and Avi Loeb both spoke at this thing. This is what, when I was talking for a bit about these upcoming hearings like last year, I said, these are the types of guys that need to be talking. This guy, Avi Loeb, Matthew Brown, Jake Barber, people of that nature, put them under oath and let them say this type of stuff under oath. Now, the follow-up is still going to be the same. Okay, well, this physicist said that. This guy who used to work there said that. But where's the proof? That does go to what Burlison was saying about, well, Grush is here, and or Lou Elizondo actually said this about something that Grush had said, and what Grush's reason he is there is to say, these are where you should be looking. These are the people you should be asking these questions to. Here is where you need to throw in some subpoenas, some warrants, things of that nature. This is what you need to do. Now, the fact that Eric Davis now is stepping up and talking about this stuff and is willing to go into a SCIF to talk about more so, if this is what he can say under oath, or not under oath, but to people at a hearing, what can he say that he can say in a SCIF? What's that information going to be? And, oh my God, I have to, I really, really want to speak to Burlison. I mean, I really want to speak to him. My first question would be like, look, you have been investigating this thing. You have been looking at this thing. But you've been very vocal in saying, I don't think that I believe that it's otherworldly. I don't think that it's alien. I don't think it's any of this, but I want to know. He's heard so much now from the guy that he hired in David Grush that it was the otherworldly, that there have been bodies that have been recovered that are non-human. And then you get this guy, physicist, who's telling you there's 4 different species to your face, right to your face. You're asking him these questions and he's telling you straight out. He's also telling you, yeah, we got these ships. We got everything. Has his perspective changed? Because you know that Luna's changed real quick when she started looking into things. Whatever room that her and there were like 3 or 4 other people went and they were shown something, she but she became a believer real quick. She was talking about interdimensional and all those things, and I think that's why she is investigating this thing. Because, again, I always bring this up first and foremost with politicians. Always. Do I believe that they actually want to get to the bottom of this and they want to figure out what's going on? I do. Do I think it is for any reason other than the fact that they know the spotlight will be upon them and they will be the ones remembered in history as bringing this to light? That's the motivation. They can tell you no all day long until blue in the face, but they know if they are the ones leading this charge, and I should say, rightfully so, that they're going to get the recognition that they should, if they can indeed pull this off, that what people haven't been able to do in 80 years who've been trying. There's been a struggle to try to get the information out. And then I was listening to that information, the podcast that Hal Puthoff had on Rogan, and it was a very interesting conversation where he said he was in a room, and it was during the George Bush Sr., where he was talking about that administration, and they were asked, not by George Bush, but by people inside of that administration, if there should be disclosure and what would be the positivity and negativity of doing it. And he brought in a bunch of people on the level of Hal Puthoff, and all of them at that time had essentially, I don't know if it was unanimous, but majority voted that it shouldn't be for a lot of different reasons. A lot of reasons that we talked about on this show. The fact that there would be contractors who would wind up suing, people going to jail, things of that nature. It'd become markets crashing and be huge. However, Hal Puthoff also said that was during the 80s. This is now, and he's changed his stance on it. He does believe for a disclosure. Is that what we're pushing towards? Is this the soft run for disclosure, like things like this? I still say, though, and I'm pretty adamant about it, that when I see Eric Davis's face on one of the major news networks, and not just the internet, and I always I liked interviewing Steve Bassett. I really did. I thought he was a great conversation. We went to lunch afterwards. He's a very, very passionate guy, nice guy. I push back against him 1,000% when he says all the media is covering this on the internet and other things, and people are getting their news through internet. But you have to understand, again, and I've said this 1,050 times. People, when are essentially, a lot of us, unfortunately, have a sheep mentality. If there is a story that is being covered on all the major news networks, the Fox News, the CNN, the MSNBC, all these things, CBS Nightly News, all that, if that's the main story, then everybody's going to be talking about it. And it's like, oh my God, you hear Cher's getting another divorce? It was on every network. That's what people will talk about. And it's just how media works. It sucks, but it's how it works. And if Eric Davis's face is the lead story on every single, or let's say it's Matthew Brown, who essentially said, this is a guy who worked for the government, who wrote that Immaculate Constellation program, and said that in that program, we have a reverse engineering program, all these things. And then he said on the Weaponized podcast that he believes that one of the reasons that these things are here is to use humans as resources. Should be the first freaking story. This guy, our report today on Lester Holt. This is a guy who worked here. He was on this show. He said this. We vetted him because we have the resources to do it because we're freaking NBC. We vetted him. We looked into it. And the claims that he's making are wild, but this is what he says. We sat down with him, and he said this. I'm not telling you that Lester Holt has to agree with it. I'm not telling you he has to believe it. Or he sends one of his people in to go talk to this person. How is that not the first story on every news network? Something stinks. Something stinks. So, but I do wonder if it's like a soft disclosure type of thing. And getting him into a SCIF with Burlison, I wonder if that's going to change anything. I don't know. What do you guys think about this story? Do you think that this is going to change anything? Do you think that this is the start of this type of information coming out? Is that what we're getting this year? These types of reveals? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. As I mentioned, I also had, I talked to you guys about Acorns. It helps out the show tremendously. We're almost at 50,000 subscribers. I hope you will join today. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. See you later.